What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. As I've stated before, I've jumped back into MW3. I want to see and experience everything that Sledgehammer Games has offered the community throughout the entirety of this game's life cycle. And I've glazed Sledgehammer Games already about their post-launch support for MW3, but I'm going to reiterate it here. It is absolutely incredible and a slap in the face to the other development teams that we've received this type of post-launch support. When you compare this to what we had in MW2, it's absolutely laughable that this community seemed to give Infinity Ward a pass for their post-launch support. Oh, at least we got a few maps, they would say. With Modern Warfare 3, we consistently got more and more content. Now, at times, the content did feel lazy as they were just throwing in variants to maps like they did here in Season 6. That was a bit of a disappointment. But we're able to call that out, and at the same time, praise them for at least trying to do something differently, at least trying to deliver the community with some brand new content. And there's a ton of brand new content here. As somebody who didn't play the game for months, stepping back into Modern Warfare 3 is like stepping into a brand new game, a brand new experience. There's so much more to this game's depth. Now, at times, some of the depth just feels like filler. We've talked about the attachments. There's too many in this game. It's grotesque. There's a lot of weapons, and a lot of them just feel like add-ons, especially the MW2 weapons that they forcibly put into this game. They don't really feel like they add anything to the core content of the game. But outside of that, they've added more perks, they've added more equipment, they've added a lot of new elements to this game that does modify gameplay. It's not the same game as it was back when it released, back through Seasons 1 and 2, and that's a good thing. This is what I want to highlight whenever we talk about MW3. It may not be a perfect game. It may be held back by decisions Infinity Ward made, by decisions that Activision made, by things that were outside of Sledgehammer's control. But what Sledgehammer could control, they delivered on. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. And it seems as if Sledgehammer Games really took impressions from the community to heart. They listened to the community and adapted the game to suit the needs of the many instead of the needs of the suits that don't know what they're talking about. That was nice to see. If Sledgehammer Games can influence Treyarch to enhance their post-launch support, to enhance their gameplay throughout the entire course of the year, we're in for a good game. Because there's already been a lot of uproar, a lot of hoofla been made about the map design in Black Ops 6. And if Treyarch wants to correct course, they're going to have to do so through post-launch support. And it can't just be one or two maps. It can't just be remakes. It can't just be variants. It needs to be injecting the game with brand new, unique content. And we know Treyarch can do it. But back to Sledgehammer Games, and this is what I really have to give them credit for. They gave players reasons to keep playing this game. The amount of events that were in this game, the amount of cool crossovers the game had, even though it's not my personal preference, it did wonders for this community. Modern Warfare 3 had low sales because people were burnt out after MW2. They didn't want a direct sequel to a game that was extremely disappointing. And yet Sledgehammer Games still delivered and were able to maintain their player base throughout the entire year because they were smart about how they approached the community. They weren't trying to do things to service themselves. They were doing things to service the community. That's why we saw so many brand new small maps in this game. For a very long time, I talked about how tired and burnt out I was with Shipment being put into every game, with how much hype there was given to Rust, even though it's a terrible map. And with Modern Warfare 3, they delivered with several brand new small maps that the community loves. Meat and Stash House, Yard is pretty good. These are good additions to the Call of Duty franchise, and I'm really happy that Sledgehammer Games didn't just focus on these grandiose maps. Instead, they wanted to hone in on small map design. And I'll be honest with you, I've made claims that some of this map design is brain rot, but these maps play better than the brain rot maps we saw in the Black Ops 6 beta. Derelict is probably bigger than both Yard and Meat. But both Yard and Meat play better than Derelict does, better than Rewind does. And that is a testament to how Sledgehammer Games has made their maps, has designed their core philosophy behind their map design. And that's a good thing. And this is what I want to remember Modern Warfare 3 for. a game that had a ton of potential that it actually was able to fulfill instead of just sit there and ponder about what could have been. Yes, there are problems with this game, but they are more so from the Activision side and not so much from the Sledgehammer side. I'm not looking at the Sledgehammer decisions and thinking to myself, wow, what a disappointment. That's not the case here. They had a great foundation, they built upon it, and what we have is one of the best games from the post Warzone era. And honestly, a game that belongs safely within some of the best in the franchise. And that is massive for this community. And even though some people want to be down bad on Call of Duty, that's fine. There's a lot of good here with Modern Warfare 3, and you missed out on it because you just want to give this entire franchise the cold shoulder. The problems that you have with Call of Duty are 100% present here in MW3, but Sledgehammer Games tried to persevere through it all. Packet burst is still a problem. And yet, even though when I'm experiencing it, I want to keep trying to play the game, keep trying to give the game a chance. And oftentimes, the reason why I back out of games, why I quit play sessions, is due to these Activisionisms and not so much from Sledgehammer decisions. And that's where the difference lies. With MW2, so many times I just found myself bored, uninterested, disengaged with the overall gameplay loop, with what they were trying to do with that game. It's much different here with Modern Warfare 3. There's aspects of this game that I will continue to want to play. I'm not a movement king. I'm not trying to be somebody hooked into Adderall straight into the veins through an IV. I just want to play the game, utilize the movement in certain areas, and just have fun. And that's what Modern Warfare 3 allows you to do more often than not. It just allows you to have fun. It feels like a fun Call of Duty game. It's really too bad, though, that this game was wasted on a rush development cycle, a decision hierarchy that to me makes absolutely no sense and is more so to the detriment of the community instead of to the benefit of them. Like, imagine for a second if Sledgehammer Games had 3 years to design this game. Imagine for a second that they didn't have to follow the confines of COD HQ or the MW2 development philosophy. If they were allowed to develop this game in their own right, imagine what could have happened. And this is what really frustrates me when we talk about Call of Duty, is it's always about what ifs instead of them actually delivering. Because for whatever reason, they want to give free reins to Infinity Ward and to no one else. And therein lies the problem. Infinity Ward is a washed studio now. They're nowhere near as good as they used to be. And they're still living off of past success from over 13 years ago. And yet they're the ones that are allowed to dictate the decisions for a much more competent studio like Sledgehammer Games. Shocking that I'm saying this, but it's true. Sledgehammer Games delivered with a much tougher set of circumstances than anything Infinity Ward has had to do. And this is why I want to continue to believe in Sledgehammer Games and trust that they have the community's best interests at heart. And trust them that whenever their next title comes around, maybe it's Advanced Warfare 2, maybe it's another World War II game, whatever it might be, I have a little bit of faith in the back of my head that they're actually going to be able to deliver. Now, it may seem that all I've done in this video is glaze up Modern Warfare 3. But honestly, I see so much negativity when it comes to this game that we need some times to reflect on the positive aspects that this game brought to the franchise. Yes, there are issues from Activision. Skill-based matchmaking is not Sledgehammer's fault. The connection being bad is not Sledgehammer's fault. The fact that there are cheaters in the game, again, is not Sledgehammer's fault. All of these things come from above them. And even though all of these things weigh Modern Warfare 3 down, Sledgehammer Games was able to produce something with seemingly nothing. A fast development cycle that nobody else has had to work with. A limiting factor of development because they had to follow the confines of Infinity Ward. And a pissed off community at launch because Infinity Ward failed this community with MW2. Their backs were against the wall and they were able to still deliver something that was memorable for this community, even though it might not seem as memorable as you'd want it to be. Call of Duty can do better, and it should do better. But this is a testament to what a development studio that is committed to delivering something exceptional can do, even when the deck is stacked against them. So those are my thoughts on MW3. An imperfect game that was given a terrible set of circumstances and was still able to deliver something fun as a result. But those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours down below in this comment section. At no means is this a goodbye video to MW3. It's more so a video reflecting on what was great about this game and what could have improved. So let me know those thoughts down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.